Welcome to another episode of Fantastic Fights. Today, we'll be looking at Chase Hooper versus Peter Barrett. Let's take a look at each man's journey into the octagon. Chase Hooper had a perfect amateur record of 5-0. This spanned from 2016 to 2017. His professional debut was in October of 2017. He went 5-0 on his way to Dana White's Contender Series in 2018. He won the fight by unanimous decision and was given a developmental deal. His next fight was a draw, but he won his next two fights by TKO and submission, respectively. He made his debut in the UFC near the end of 2019 against Daniel Tamer. The two put on a fantastic scrap, but ultimately Tamer ended up caught in a mounted triangle position and was TKO'd with elbows and punches. Chase's second outing in the octagon was unfortunate for him as he was picked apart by the technical striking of Alex Caceres. This levied a lot of concern onto Chase Hooper, as maybe he was a bit too young and underdeveloped in the striking department to be fighting in the UFC. Barrett also won a Contender Series fight to make his way into the UFC. This was in the summer of 2019, a fight which he won by unanimous decision. He had his first two fights canceled, and he then lost his official debut by decision against Youssef Zalal. So when he met up with Chase Hooper, his record sat at 11-4. Leading into the fight, there was talk from Barrett that he had the capability to knock Chase out. He thought that what he saw from the fight with Alex Caceres and the power he had in his own hands, that he could shut Chase's lights out. But the time for talk was officially over come December 12th, 2020, on the stage of UFC 256. Both men made weight and both were ready to fight. Not a whole lot to say in round one, but it did begin to paint the picture that Barrett was trying to present. After the two traded nut shots, it was obvious that Hooper had an awkward range and striking style, but he lacked power and technique, and the very few times that he was able to land a clean strike or counter on Barrett, it seemed to completely not affect him. Barrett simply hit way harder. Joe Rogan was critical of Chase's inexperience. He thought that he needed more time to develop, referencing boxing amateur careers and matchmaking to pad records. Though the round did end in a precarious situation for Barrett, as Chase was chasing a leg submission, but had only about 10 seconds to try to get it sunk in, leading to a likely 10-9 round for Peter Barrett. At the beginning of round two, Chase was looking snappier with his jabs. The commentary was suggesting that he was dropping his hands when kickboxing, though. Even when he landed a great straight punch, it seemed to carry very little power despite how crisp it was. On the other hand, Barrett was hurting Chase quickly with leg kicks, and the momentum began shifting to Barrett. Barrett's mix-up of leg kicks and boxing combinations led to Chase being in trouble a few times. All of Chase's takedown attempts were stuffed by Barrett, and Rogan even suggested that Chase needed to pull guard. Chase successfully landed an Imanari roll about 3 minutes in, but it is not enough to secure a position for a successful submission. This led to some interesting scrambles, but Chase went after another leg submission, which led to Barrett successfully getting up. Chase did turn up the aggression at the end of the round, but his strikes seemed to carry very little power yet again. I would probably give the round to Barrett, but the Twitter scoring that was going on live seemed to be kind of split. Heading into round three, in between rounds, Barrett said he can't believe he let Chase land the Imanari roll, but his corner was adamant that it was fine. However, Barrett definitely carried a sense of urgency into the third round. He was landing hard, but not clean. This led to Chase landing the Imanari roll again incredibly. One of the highlights of this fight was a kind of funny moment where Chase was trying to soften Barrett up with strikes from the bottom, and Barrett was headbutting Chase's strikes in retaliation. The commentators were getting quite a kick out of that. Throughout the time on the ground, Chase was squirming further down the leg of Barrett to secure a better grip of his ankle region. During an exchange of strikes, Chase found the optimal distance and the ankle was caught between the ground and his armpit. The lock was there. Barrett grimaced and tried to fight it, but he was at risk of having his leg broken and had to tap. While the result was being read, Barrett could be seen holding back tears, as he was probably aware that it's unlikely for a Contender Series signee with an 0-2 record to have much place in the matchmaking world. Barrett was released from the UFC following the loss, but has found a home at his staple promotion from before the UFC, Cage Titans. He lost his first fight back via decision, but he did score a TKO in his second fight back with them. At the time that this video is being made, he has 2 fights scheduled for the promotion, a month apart. I'm curious as to what that's all about. After the fight ended, Chase Hooper told TJ DeSantis on Extra Rounds that his leg was a little sore, but he was in good spirits. Chase didn't fight again until the summer of 2021, where he lost a unanimous decision to Steven Peterson, who missed weight for the fight. Chase would go to take almost a year off, not returning until May of 2022. But when he came back, he won a Performance of the Night bonus with a win over Felipe Colares, and the win came by TKO. Best of luck to both men moving forward in their careers, and to all of you, thank you for watching this episode of Fantastic Fights.